As a veteran, I am super sensitive to the needs of veterans, just as much as a lot of my professionals or professional colleagues who are non-veterans are equally as sensitive to the needs of veterans. And one of the things I tell my vet friends all the time, or my vet, not friends, vet friends, colleagues, and even my vet clients all the time, the fact that you're a veteran in the grander scheme of things for Social Security's purposes is relevant. It's relevant for purposes that they are understandably sensitive to the fact that you are a veteran, you've served your country, and they want to do everything humanly possible to represent you and assist you in whatever way possible. But keep one thing in mind, okay? Just being a veteran is not enough. And I say that not to be disrespectful or disparaging of any of my fellow vets. It's just realizing at the end of the day, Social Security has availed itself of a variety of different programs to assist vets coming into the door in terms of processing their cases faster. But you still have to do a little extra to provide them with that assistance. So keep that in mind. So a couple of things you need to know. There's pros and there's cons for both. Here's a con. Let me tell you about the cons first that you need to be aware of. The fact that you're receiving VA disability benefits does not of itself mean that you've got a slam dunk for Social Security. I've said this a million times. And the fact that you have a VA disability rating does not in of itself give you that over the top, I got it, I'm in there, hookup. I don't care how high it is unless it's 100%. You know, I have people who come to me and they'll say, I'm 70%, I'm 80%, I'm 90%. I'm like, Social Security doesn't operate on a percentage rating system. So just because one federal agency utilizes one standard does not necessarily impute itself to the other agency. So keep that in back of your mind. So the fact that you've got a rating is great. You know, as a rep, it's great for me because it gives me the idea of the severity of your case. But for Social Security's purposes, since they don't apply the rating system, the fact that you may have a high rating, you know, if you got 20% here, 50% there, 40% there, all those things, it's great information. But remember, Social Security is using a different model for how they're finding you're disabled. Also, when you get those compensation and pension examinations, sometimes those examinations aren't helpful for Social Security's purposes. They may be helpful for you for increasing your rating for VA benefits, and that's awesome. But it's important for you to understand that just because you got an increased rating for the VA, that sometimes those exams, especially how they word them, the information may not be as helpful as you think. Okay? Also, VA docs, it's been my experience, not all the ways. I don't know every doc that works for the VA, but it's been my experience that historically a lot of those VA docs don't necessarily complete the forms for you. So if you have a form that you'd like for them to complete on your behalf that gives an indication of specific limitations for your Social Security case, they don't always complete those forms. So don't get bent out of shape if you find yourself in a situation where you need them to fill out a form and they won't do it. Now those are the cons. So let's jump over to the pros real quick. There are programs that Social Security has that that are beneficial to you. The Wounded Warrior Program. So if you were wounded, of course, the action and so forth, and combat engagement, and you can demonstrate that as such, that in some instances they can use that information to expedite your case. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and let me see if I have it up here readily available because I want to read this directly to you so that you know. All right. A case is designated critical when the claim involves any current or former member of the military service who sustained an injury, illness, or wound, is alleging a physical or mental impairment and sustained the impairment while on active duty on or after October 1, 2001. Okay, so you know that's what, if I remember correct, I think Operation Iraqi Freedom or Enduring Freedom may have kicked in around that time period. So keep that in the back of your mind. The other thing that they have is what we call the Veterans 100% Permanent and Total. So if a case is designated critical, if the veteran has a 100% permanent and total rating from the Department of Veterans Affairs. Now, here's the thing that you need to be aware of, just kind of finishing off this point. You need to be able to have documentation to support that. Don't just throw it out there to them and think Social Security is going to take your word for it just because you said it. You want to make sure that if you know you fall into one of those two categories, you bring this to Social Security's attention quickly with documentation. So this way they can designate your case as critical, and this may be beneficial to helping speed your case up. So again, at the end of the day, Social Security is sensitive to your plight as a veteran. And they have systems in place to assist you in moving those things forward. As like I said, with the Wounded Warrior, 100% permanent total. Just remember, you still bear the burden of proving that you're disabled, and the fact that you're a disabled vet does not necessarily get you over the top. You still have to follow what Social Security's protocol is for proving that you're disabled, but they are sensitive to the fact that you're.
Tune in Monday as we have an in-depth discussion about understanding your back pay.